name is Elena Philippus, and I am coming to you from Mawa High School. Both Nicholas Quintoni and I have studied the general issues of society and have come up with a general solution. Before getting into that, let's focus on one of the most influential inventors in history, Thomas Edison. Edison was born in a brick cottage in Milan, Ohio on February 11, 1847. He was the youngest of 7 children. His father was an exiled politician from Canada, and his mother was a teacher that had a very big influence on Edison's early life. At the age of 7, Edison and his family moved by railroad to Port Huron in Michigan. As a child, Edison was a very distracted student with enormous amounts of energy, which made him almost intolerable by his school teachers. His mother had pulled him out of school right away and taught him at home. Edison had always been a bookworm and had always been intrigued by the studies of mathematics and science. By the age of 11, he had taught himself by reading educational texts and constantly experimenting. He ended up having 1,100 patents and 2,500 notebooks with all the notes on his inventions and experiments. When Edison was 11, he had his first chemical laboratory in the cellar of his Port Huron home. By age 12, he had got a job on a train that went from Port Huron to Detroit to hand out a newspaper he was printing called the Grand Trunk Herald. While handing out newspapers, Edison also had access to a chemical laboratory in the baggage car of the train. This luxury ended when one of his chemical experiments broke out in flames, thus ruining the conditions of his workspace. At age 19, Edison moved to Louisville, Kentucky, to work for the Associated Press as a telegrapher. This job helped his desires for experimentation and exploration increase, but he was disadvantaged because of his lack of hearing. In 1869, Edison made his way into New York City. While financially strapped, he invented the universal stock printer with the help of Franklin L. Pope. For this great success, the two inventors received $40,000. 2 years later, Edison let go of his job and built a laboratory in Newark, New Jersey, where he devoted his time and energy to inventing. In 1887, Edison created one of his greatest achievements, the first phonograph to ever record someone's voice and then play back the recording. He had the vibration of the voice move a needle to make an indentation on a drum. The first recording ever made was Edison singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Thomas Edison edited the design of the old light bulb to make the powerful light bulb we use every day for our daily activities. The magic to this creation was the addition of a vacuum, which was placed in the bulb. The vacuum was found to be the best filament. He then ran low voltage through the bulb to make the light, this lasting much longer than the other very expensive light bulbs that existed at the time. By 1881, this new technology was brought to civilization and nearly lit all of Manhattan by 1882.
Edison married his first wife, Mary Stilwell, in 1871. During their 13-year marriage, they had 3 children, Marion, Thomas, and William, who himself became an inventor. Mary died of a brain tumor in 1884. He married his second wife, Mina, in 1886. She was 19, he was 38. Mina was extremely intelligent, and Edison proposed to her in Morse code, and she said yes, replying in Morse code. By 1887, Edison had built another industrial research laboratory in West Orange, New Jersey. Edison lived in Glenmont, a mansion near his laboratory that at the time was considered modern living, with central heating and 23 fireplaces. The home is now a museum. One notable invention of Edison was the magnetic iron ore separator that he worked on in the 1890s. This giant project ended up being abandoned because he ran into engineering problems, along with the fact that iron became much less cost-efficient. However, Edison used what he learned to make his own cement that was used to make Yankee Stadium. Pretty cool, right? Thomas Edison passed away on October 31st, 1931, due to complications of diabetes. He will always be known as an American hero who just dedicated his life to revolutionizing the world. One of Edison's big ideas is that hard work and deep thinking has no substitute. No matter how many times there were, Edison persevered through it all. He believed that the qualities of hard work were not seen through the amount of money one made, but through the achievements and actions of that person. Edison was born to change the world. Like Edison, it is our goal to change the world for the better. Both Elena and I conducted research on problems in society and saw the problems with energy-efficient power systems. Elena and I proposed our idea of energy-efficient pipeline that would be connected to faucets of each home. This pipeline would have several miniature hydro turbines installed that would generate power every time the water would run, generating power for the user.